Hello everyone, good evening. Hope everyone is doing all right this evening. I want to question and test you on your listening skills. Do you have effective listening? What I mean by that is, do you pay attention to the content of the message? The tonality, the affliction, the body language, the message, and the intention behind the message. Effective listening has 3 key points that I have discovered that truly help me understand, listen, and be attentive when someone is talking. I will give also a separate key nugget at the end of this video. When we listen to people, depending on who they are, we usually try to be respectful. But if it's a family member or a long time friend, we pretty much have an idea of what the end of the conversation or the statement that they're going to say because we have an understanding and we know them for so long. We know what they're going to say. We know their thoughts. Sometimes we even complete each other's thoughts. Although this can be challenging when emotions are involved, for we try to feel what the individual is saying. However, at times, because of our long relationship that has lasted over some time, we miss the message. We hear the content, but the intention, the affliction, and the mood behind the message sometimes becomes blurred. If it's somebody new, I don't know about you, but I've experienced this time and time again. If I'm meeting somebody new for the first time, not only am I listening to them, but at times my attention will go astray and I'm looking at what they're wearing, watching their body language, watching their eye contact, and listening to the tonality of their message. Another area where we also find ourselves having difficulty listening is when we are provided with instructions. We try to figure out what is the fastest, quickest way to get the message across without all the fillers of words and emotions. This at many times we miss the main subject or the main content, and at times people turned to one another and said, "What did they say? Did you understand what they said? Do they mean this?" This is where I lie into this factor. Not only am I a listener, but I also benefit from somebody explaining it in their own words. Some by example, some by providing visual, others by expressing the mood, painting a picture for me on what they're talking about. Now, unfortunately, this always doesn't become available to us, as most of our messages these days are that of text or emojis. But even at that time, some of the emojis that we receive, we may not understand. That is why it is very important, whenever we're sending a text or an email, check it a few times. See how it can be interpreted many different ways. For there is no audio, there is no emotion, and then there is no eye contact or body language behind it. Even when we talk to our family members or our spouses, we try to get a better understanding of what they're going to say, trying to predict their moods and watch their body language as they walk through the door. And unfortunately, at times when we don't have the ability to utilize technology as a means of communication, we may get the opportunity to speak to one another over the phone. Yes, sure, we could get the tonality, we could get the message, but we don't get the body language. Is it sarcasm? Is it condescending? Is it genuine and authentic? This is something to be mindful and awareness when communicating with others, because not only is it important to convey your message appropriately based on your audience, but it is also important that you listen to the message that you are conveying. You listen to your tonality. You be mindful and observant of your body language and your eye contact, for they at times can be misconstrued, especially amongst various cultures and various upbringings. For individuals who have a conservative or reserved family, if you're telling someone in a stern manner, you don't raise your voice. You put the affliction on the areas that are emphasized in the words, and you also be mindful of the body language, how it is conveyed. If you're another upbringing where using your hands and using your body language as a source of communication, also be mindful. Active listening not only we utilize our ears, but we utilize our eyes. This is very important in different cultures, different age brackets, different settings. You know, there are some people, some motivational speakers, for example, they have power behind their voice, conviction behind their voice, and at times they get their message across by raising their decibels and volume. And for someone who may have been in an abusive family or is shy or has a tendency of being considered an introvert, that may be assertive and fearful to them. Where another motivational speaker may speak gently, calmly, soothingly. And it could be a lullaby to one's ears. However, because of the soothing sounds, they miss the message. And it is really important that we understand these different dynamics of the way people talk and the way people listen. You know, it is one thing that I found most important, not only for paying attention and being attentive, but also listening to the pace of the message. How are they pacing out their words? And what are they putting the most emphasis on? These are key components when active listening. The other area that I feel that is important when listening is to remove all distractions. Put our infamous cell phones away when someone is talking. I was taught to listen to individuals and also be observant, make eye contact. At times, people also lip read, where it's beneficial for them to understand the message that is being conveyed as opposed to just hearing the enunciations, pronunciations, and accents. Make sure you are wholeheartedly attentive. That if there is something important, that you also make sure that you write it down. You take note. You take a mental picture or image of what they're saying. At times I do this with individuals when I am meeting with somebody. I try to correlate in my mind what their message is about. This is helpful when meeting new people. Acquiring their names and attributes with a characteristic or something that sticks out of their interest that you can align it with. These are a few nuggets that I have learned over the years as being effective listening. Make sure that you are attentive. Make sure you are observant, not only of the words of their mouth and eye contact, but of their body language. Make sure that you're paying attention into the tonality and the pace and the emphasis is on certain words. And then finally, make sure that the distractions are all set aside. So should there be something of importance that you may have missed or that you needed to hear, that the distractions do not distract you. And as promised, like every video, I will give you an example. Many times if I'm in my business or tending to something that I feel is important, and somebody comes up to me and asks me a question, at times I will just nod and say, go ahead. And that's an error on my part, for I'm not giving my fullest attention to the individual providing me with a message. Same applies with a phone call, a Zoom call, or even a text message. It is important that you stay attentive and listen to those who are asking and requiring you of your time. That you put everything aside and you be present. If it is a possibility that you are not able to be present for that person, politely and respectfully say, if you don't mind, if this can wait a few moments, let me finish and complete my task. So they don't know, so they are aware that they are just as important as your task. And if it's not urgent, if they can wait a moment. And as promised at the final end of my video, I said there was one complete golden nugget that I would like to share when listening. These are to the individuals out there dealing with children. You must have patience. We do get distracted. We do get tied up into our work or life as a whole. This is something that I utilize with our son, and it has been quite effective. Children have a lot to say, and most importantly, they fear interruption as it causes frustration, confusion, and delay for their parents. However, if we don't learn how to listen to our children at an early age, then they may not have trust and confidence in us to share when they are in fear, hurting, or in pain. So this golden nugget for you out there, if it hasn't been applied, try to apply it today. We have encouraged our son that we are ready and willing to listen at any moment. However, there may be things of importance. If it can wait, it can. We've had advised him to place his hand onto our shoulder and wait until our other hand meets it. And that way we know that he has been heard, he's being paying attention to, and in any moment we would give him our undivided attention. I thank you for listening. I thank you for watching. My name is Andrea. I am your personal accountability coach. Come on, we are just shy of 9 away from 100. Let's make it work. And I want to wish you the best. Thank you for someone is watching, someone is listening. Your message can be the message they need at the right time. Learn how to press play on life. Plan life according to you. And I will see you in the next video. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will see you in the next video. Te amo. Be well.